Pharmacist Lwanda. So it is time for hashtag Ask Lwanda this morning, and we've got a great surprise. Yes, we are live. He's come into studio. And we did mention that we'd be talking about something quite interesting this morning that affects each and every citizen of South Africa. Good morning to you, Lwanda, and welcome.
Good morning, Lwazi.
How are you?
Sis Lhoza. I'm good.
She's on the side. She's putting me on. Well,
I'm blast.
No, she's gonna join us shortly. So you know, when I saw the topic of discussion that you would be discussing today, it actually caught my interest. I thought about all the logistics.
Before that, what about blind date?
Was just Lhoza's asking Lwanda if he's ever been on a blind date, because it's something we spoke about this morning, actually.
No.
Blind date.
No, I've never been on a blind date.
Zange ukudibanisa abantu qonda ba mani uLhoza xa nomdibanisa mhlambi no pha nomnyuso machiza okanye xa nomdibanisa mhlambi no Prince, you know, zezachomi zakho qonda in fact. Zange ukuyenza into enjalo.
No, I've never anzange ndadityaniswa nawe anzange ndadibanisa abantu.
Okay. Ndiyamazi ke ndulala baleke. Thethi inyani yadlala. But ke yeah, silapha namhlanje sincokola ke no #asilwanda. Befuna baninke ke ulwa nolwa qhubani lwa and lwa khabulisa baphulaphula lwa.
I did.
You did already. Kaloku benze kitchen. But ke namhlanje sitha ngantoni?
Okay. So I think when we're just managing the public opinion on amayeza uba intoni yeza lifumaneka phi na. Sifuna ukuxwayisa abantu when it comes to medicines being sold on social media platforms, medicines being sold at spaza shops, on the streets from the boot of cars, that sort of thing. What exactly is a medicine, and what should you buy? What should you not be buying from certain outlets? And what are the risks of buying medicines from those outlets?
Ofuna uzibiza. Right class city advantages and disadvantages ze Courier Pharmacies.
Yes, Courier Pharmacies is awuthetha ngazo. Nazo Courier Pharmacies is part of this discussion. Because there was a announcement that now the government is interested in delivering amayeza through the post office.
Okay.
I personally, you know, as I was saying a bit earlier on, just thinking about our country as a whole, Noguchi, where we are as a country, and thinking about logistics when it comes to anything related to things like that, and especially the post office. I mean, for the past 3 years, we've had such drastic situations with the post office and I'm backlog and don.
Sure.
Uguti, how do you think personally this is going to be managed? Because for me, hearing about it, iyang tusa. You know, just hearing about it, it's like mhlambe you from a pharmaceutical background would be able to maybe elaborate or to kind of get us into the picture.
Sure. So you do have a community pharmacy, which is where Lwazi or Lhoza would walk in and buy amayeza.
Yes, that's correct.
You have a hospital pharmacy. So there's a pharmacist in there where the doctor writes a prescription, sends it to that pharmacy. That pharmacist fills that prescription, then it goes back to the ward. Where Lhoza, you're patient, you're just sitting there in your ward. You probably never see this pharmacist that is in the hospital pharmacy.
Yes.
You then have an online pharmacy or internet pharmacy. So you go and you buy amayeza, and then this medicine is delivered to you.
Yes, that's
You
correct.
also have a courier pharmacy, meaning some of us have abazali that are on chronic medication.
Yes, that's correct.
Umama uyahamba ayobona ugqirha okanye utata uhamba ayobona ugqirha. That prescription is then emailed or faxed to that courier pharmacy. There's a pharmacist on the other side. They fill that script, they get the patient details, and then they send via courier the medication to that patient, whether at their workplace, whether at their house.
Yes.
It would be a venue that is then determined by the patient.
Okay.
So the ikona already that kind of system with the courier pharmacies. How this is different is now it is centralization. So the medication is not going straight from the courier pharmacy to the patient's home. It's going via the post
Post
office.
office.
So what you'll find is that maybe the post office is then charging the government or charging the courier pharmacy a fee for it to be doing as logistics ubuthetha ngazo. And
Yes,
then
yes.
ibe yiyo that it's giving the medication to the patient.
So basically, it's just eliminating that door-to-door situation. Uguti, instead of coming to my door, then I go fetch it at my nearest pharmacy or my nearest post office. I mean,
Sure.
whatever post office of choice I've chosen, basically.
Yeah. So courier pharmacies is izinto ezikhoyo, but mna ndingulwanda as a pharmacist, I understand that issuing of medicine is not just that. It's not like buying a car
Yes.
license and
Yes, it's very different.
or or
You know?
buying a burger or
Yeah.
buying a snack and developing. So part of dispensing, one is I look at the prescription and I have to evaluate it as the pharmacist.
Yes.
Kubani oninikeza a script, what
Yes.
age, what gender, is the
Yes.
dosage correct, those kind of things. And then I have to fill it and pick the medication and I see that I've picked the right thing, right? Is it exactly what is on the script? Am I saving this patient money? Do you want a generic? Do you prefer the brand? That sort of thing.
Yes.
And the last thing, and very important thing, is patient counseling. So I need to be telling you about na Eliezer hindoni na, how it is going to treat you, what you should be expecting in terms of side effects and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Now, this part, unfortunately, is eliminated when it comes to courier pharmacies.
Yeah.
Because xana ndikunika via a post office, that's not the pharmacist that's giving you.
Yeah.
Even the people that were delivering to your door anyway.
Yes, that's not the pharmacist.
So now when you have an issue and you're saying, how do I use this insulin pen now that it has changed? Last month, the medication you gave me, this is what I was experiencing. Is that
Yes,
normal? Should I
yes.
still continue taking it even though now I'm starting to get headaches? Who do you ask this to? If amayeza wako are being bought via courier?
Yes, because that's also another question mark that sits with me. Uguti, at the pharmacy, as much as mhlambe kwesinye isikhathi ufika and there's not an actual pharmacist, but there's the assistant.
That's never going to happen, just by the way. By law, there's
Really?
always a pharmacist at
Really?
a pharmacy. By law, yes.
Okay, by law. Let's
say yenzeka nyani.
by law. But at the post office now, lezinto isho ukuthi I've got a slight question. Yoguti, I don't understand. Ukubona sometimes when you read something and you just need a second opinion. Guti, how do I take this dosage
Sure.
and whatnot? Is that something that's just going to be left open-handed? Because it's also another expense to now dispense and put out a person who can answer these questions at each and every pharmacy. At each and every post office, sorry. So is it just going to be a matter of I pick up my parcel, I leave?
That's what they're doing. So they are called medicine parcels. They're not even called medication because the person at the post office doesn't know what's inside the packet, and they don't deal with that kind of admin. For them, it's that box 1 belongs to Lwanda, box 2 belongs to Lhoza. Lhoza comes there and says, listen, I've received an SMS that says that my parcel is here and my parcel is called box 2. I was told to come and collect it. This is my ID.
Yes.
The guy goes there and says, this is box 2. There you go.
Okay.
But he doesn't deal with any administrative issues.
Another thing, Lwanda, I just want to ask you on a personal scale is that how do you feel, especially with our crime rate, when it comes to medications? Sekwaziwa ke manje ukuthi eposini kulele kuhlezi medication, and we all know ukuthi we already have abantu who are homeless and street children and whatnot and drug takers and users already trying to steal medication. Now when they know ukuthi there's a possibility that I could get myself a strong dosage in there, do you not think this will hike up the crime rate on a totally different level?
I don't want to go there because then I have to argue why are they not stealing from the pharmacies? So izaba into nomahluko if the medication is at the post office. But we know we've seen in in KZN.
Yes, yes.
With the looting. We
Yeah,
saw, I
yeah.
have pharmacist friends that had to close down their pharmacies because bebebelwe
Yes.
stock.
Yes, yeah.
There was medication all over the show. Where abantu must buy
Imagine.
just for ukuba, and then they're not gonna know uba amayeza mabawathi na. Yes.
Ngifuna i-dosage nje. Nje. So Lwanda, also just to get a bit, so we've spoken about the Courier Pharmacies. Is this something that we see, is it something that will step in soon, or is it just a long-term goal of what we eventually want to reach?
So Courier Pharmacies is already in the country. They've been around for
Yes, the door-to-door.
for decades.
Yes.
Yeah. What is happening is now in Atlanta it is expanding. So obviously, as pharmacists, we've always had our own reservations, around Courier Pharmacies. But ngoku ingathi izinto zifuna ukuya ziba worse, with the involvement your post office and administration and all.
Yeah.
So interesting. I think Lendo looting is taking us to our next point, because last week we started abuse.
Yes. The usage, yeah.
Yamayeza. Yeah. So abantu now are starting to say, but Eliezer that you're saying is only available at the chemist, I see it being sold on social media. I see it being sold at the spaza shop down my street. Is that supposed to be the case?
Yes.
And the answer is no, right? And people then are asking, but if I can buy medicine at a supermarket, why is it then a problem if I get it at a spaza shop? So today we're talking about medicine scheduling or scheduling.
Okay.
Medicines are scheduled from Schedule 0. So we'll talk about Schedule 0 to Schedule 6 today.
Yes.
At Schedule 0, you are buying pain tablets, or pain syrups for kids. You can get these at a fuel station. You can get these at a supermarket. You've seen most of these tablets. They're usually packed in twos. You go to the fuel station and you say, hey, I have a headache.
Yes.
Please give me this. Please give me this sachet.
Yeah.
This is a medication, but it's Scheduled 0, meaning the fuel station is allowed to source it. The fuel station is allowed to sell it.
Yeah.
But they can't say, you'll also notice that now they are not selling it in 38s. I'm making an example. There's going to be a box, but it's a small box.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
They're not allowed to sell the bigger boxes, even though it's Scheduled 0. You'll find that the bigger quantities you'll find at a pharmacy. Yes, I have these paracetamol tablets at a supermarket, but you find that they're in 24s or 10s.
Yes.
But once you get to the pharmacy now, you can get them in hundreds. I'm making an example, right? So there's a regulation around that.
Yes.
Anything that is Schedule 1 or Schedule 2, you'll get over the counter at the pharmacy. It's sold at a pharmacy, but you don't need a prescription to buy it. You simply just go there and say, listen, I want this thing for flu, I want that one, and I want that one. Maybe before we go to the pharmacy, we must talk about homeopathic products and vitamins. So just because you are buying a vitamin C supplement or a magnesium supplement from a supermarket, those are not medicines because they're not scheduled. It's just vitamins.
Okay. So we do not classify it as medicine. We just say...
It's just supplements.
Okay, supplements.
They can be sold anywhere.
By anyone,
really.
yes.
That's why when you get to these corporate chains, they are at the front.
Okay.
They're not behind the counter.
Yes, they're there when you're about to pay.
In
it's
the
a
aisles.
pickup situation. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
So now we go back to speaking about Schedule 1 and Schedule 2. So these ones are behind the pharmacy counter.
Yes.
But you don't need a prescription for them. You simply just walk in and you say, this is what I want.
Yes.
I want this one for my baby. I want this one for my husband. I want this one for myself. These are rung up for you. And then, patan.
Yes.
When we are selling you these, you'll find that also we are asking for some details. What is your name? What is your surname? What is your address? What is your date of birth? And we need to log these details and keep a register. Now, when you start Schedule 3 upwards, we are talking now prescription medication.
Yes.
So you want something for your blood pressure, for your epilepsy, for your asthma, and jalo. These things will need a prescription and can only, again, so anything we've said, anything from Schedule 1 upwards will only be sold at the pharmacy. Anything from Schedule 3 upwards, you will always need a prescription.
Yes.
There is a problem if a medication that needs a prescription is being sold to you
Yes.
by someone on social media. There's a problem if a medication that you know is only available at the pharmacy is being sold to you at your spaza shop or
Yes.
your supermarket, because then the question is, how is this person sourcing?
Yes. Yeah.
Because suppliers are not allowed to sell to spaza shops. Suppliers are not allowed to sell to people that are going to sell on social media. There's a law in South Africa that says this medication can only be sold at a pharmacy. So if there's someone selling it on social media where there's already now a criminal element to it.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Because if I can only get this at a pharmacy, but where now you have a page on social media that you're offering it to me, where are you getting it from? And can I be
Yes.
implicated in this crime? The last point I want to make on this is that we have counterfeit medicines. So it is a lookalike. I have a social media page and I say I'm selling you this thing, it's going to help you lose weight. It looks like it, but it's not it.
So this is the thing, which means then obviously automatically it's got a health hazard because it's not it. It could
You
harm
don't
me
even
in
know what
any
it
way. Okay.
Right? Abantu have this thing where they want to bypass the prescription. Ingati to someone in the general public, it seems like a prescription is a hurdle to what I am looking for. It is not a hurdle. The prescription is for your safety.
Yes.
You need someone who's going to say, who are you? What are you interested in? Is this the right fit for you? Should you be taking this medication to begin with?
Yes.
And people are saying, I don't want to be asked these questions, manimna. You know, I know
Yes.
that I just want that thing. And
Because sometimes Ngambela, you like, I know what will heal me. Like ngiyayazi ukuthi izongihila leyana, like, and the
Sure.
doctor doesn't want to give it to me, and I know that I need that dosage.
how do you know? Right? Like, what was the point? Why
She
does
has
the
lamp.
doctor have to do?
And no, I totally get you. I totally get you. Yeah.
yeah. So we are faced with demand prescribing, where patients are going to you, you are the doctor, and then they tell you that this is what I want. I'll make an example. Abantu bayathanda ukuziclassify and say, I have insomnia. And then I'm thinking, do you even know what you're talking about? Like, is insomnia a symptom or is insomnia a disease condition? Is insomnia telling us that you have a problem or is insomnia the problem, right? Because then sleep disorders are an umbrella, if you want, right? And then not being able to sleep becomes part of other issues, right? It could be that you have TB, it could be that you have a psychological issue. You need to go to someone and have an assessment.
Yes.
For you to spend 5 years taking something that's going to help you sleep, you are just masking the problem, right?
Yeah.
You have patients that come to us and say, Ish, I've had this cough for 3 weeks. I've had this cough for a month. I've taken everything and it's not going
And
away.
still,
And you have to explain to them that cough is not a disease condition. There's no chapter in our books that says, how do we manage a cough?
Yes.
The cough is telling us that you have asthma. The cough is telling us that you have a heart problem. The cough is telling us that you have a flu. You get what I mean? And then
yes, definitely.
if we sort that out, then the cough is going to go away. We don't manage the cough.
Yes.
So iyabaluleka umuntu uba makahambe and consult. Xa sisithi into is a prescription, that's what it means. I can't prescribe something for Lwazi and Lwazi says, well, you know, I had the same problem on Lhoza. Ina, take from my one.
Yeah.
If it's prescribed, it means exactly that. It's customized treatment for you. So you don't take your glasses, Lwazi. If it's prescription glasses and you say no, zaznika uLhoza, because they've been prescribed for your set of eyes.
Exactly. And this is the thing, we sort of, ngoba ukhuluma nje, I'm just listening, how we diagnose ourselves. Ukuthi I've got insomnia, aglalegi and what not, and all of that. And even with medication, we end up ukuthi I had that pain. Tata lento ingisizile.
Sure.
It's something we like as people commonly do, and obviously it's something that we need to eliminate. Says Valanje this morning, Lwanda. I just want to go back a bit about this clarification with Uguti. Medical suppliers are not allowed to supply to social media vendors and also the likes of Maspaza shop.
Sure.
So what are you saying? Are you saying anything that we find there is illegal, or in some cases illegal ukuthi ingene ngendlela erongwana?
So they don't supply scheduled medicines.
Okay.
They'll supply the Schedule 0.
Yes,
right?
yes. Yeah.
But if I'm seeing a Schedule 1 upwards
Yes, yeah, I
at a
must
fuel
know.
station or at a supermarket or a
Yes.
spaza shop, I don't want us to now seem like we're
Yes,
targeting the
yes.
spaza shops.
Yes, no, siyathetha.
If I am seeing a Schedule 1 upwards outside of the pharmacy, this is a problem. It's an
Yes.
alarm.
Yes.
Rwanda zintoni schedule uthetha ngazo sizibona kanjani.
Ewe.
On the box there is always a on the label yamayeza wako.
Yes.
There's always a square, a small square. It has an S phakathi.
Ewe.
Next to that S there's a number, and that
Yes.
number will be S0, S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, S6. That number is telling you the scheduling status of that medication.
Enkosi Lwanda, Enkosi, it's been great chatting to you this morning. Lwanda is here every single Wednesday between 20 to 8 and 8 o'clock. Lwanda, if anyone wants to interact with you in the interim, mhlambe bathole a personal consultation, bakuthola phi?
On the socials. Can you believe it?
Schedule 0 available to everyone.
I'm available on the socials at Ask Lwanda.
Okay, Schedule 0. There you have it. Exactly 8 o'clock. We're going to go into our music. Before that, let me end